Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today we will embark on a journey through In a Grove by Ryūnosuke Akutagawa. In a Grove is a short story by Ryūnosuke Akutagawa, first published in 1922. The narrative is constructed through the testimonies of several witnesses and participants, each providing their perspective on the same incident, the murder of a samurai, Takehiko, and the events leading up to it. This fragmented storytelling reveals the complexities of truth and perception, exploring themes of dishonesty, honor, and the elusive nature of reality. Plot summary. On a serene morning, a woodcutter set out to gather his daily quota of cedars. As he wandered through a grove of bamboo and cedars about 150 meters off the Yamashina stage road, he stumbled upon a horrific scene. There, lying flat on his back, was the body of a samurai. His attire, a bluish silk kimono and a wrinkled Kyoto-style headdress, was stained with blood from a single sword stroke that had pierced his breast. The ground around him, littered with trampled bamboo blades, suggested a fierce struggle. Curiously, there was no weapon in sight, only a piece of rope and a comb lying nearby. As the woodcutter stared in shock at the lifeless figure, a traveling Buddhist priest passed by and offered his account of the previous day's events. He had seen the samurai walking toward Sekiyama, accompanied by a woman on horseback who was presumably his wife. Her face was hidden by a scarf, but her lilac-colored suit and the fine sorrel horse she rode left a lasting impression. The samurai, armed with a sword and a bow, carried himself with the confidence of a warrior. Later, a policeman recounted his arrest of a notorious brigand named Tajimaru. The brigand had been found groaning by the roadside, having fallen from his horse. The bow and arrows in his possession matched those owned by the murdered samurai, and the policeman suspected him of the crime. Tajimaru, a feared criminal, had a reputation for preying on women and committing ruthless acts. An old woman, the mother of the samurai's wife, provided further insights. Her daughter, Masago, and her son-in-law, Kanazawa no Takehiko, had set out for Wakasa the previous day. Takehiko, a gentle and honorable samurai, had left a deep impression on her. The old woman's grief was palpable as she described her daughter, a spirited young woman of 19 who had known no man but her husband. She implored the authorities to find Masago, fearing for her safety. Tajimaru, under interrogation, confessed to the crime but presented a different version of events. He claimed to have met the couple on the road and, captivated by Masago's beauty, decided to capture her. He lured the samurai into the grove with a tale of buried treasures. There, he tied up Takehiko and returned to fetch Masago. When she saw her husband bound, she drew a small sword and attacked Tajimaru, but he overpowered her. Tajimaru then violated Masago, who afterward insisted that either her husband or the brigand must die, as she could not bear the shame of her violation being known to both men. Tajimaru and Takehiko fought, and Tajimaru killed him. However, when he turned to take Masago with him, she had disappeared. Masago's testimony, given at Kiyomizu Temple, differed significantly. She described her horror and shame after being violated by Tajimaru and seeing the loathing in her husband's eyes. Unable to bear his contempt, she decided to kill him to end both their suffering. She stabbed him with her small sword but failed to end her own life afterward. The final testimony came through a medium, channeling the voice of the murdered samurai. Takehiko described the events from his perspective. After being tied up and watching his wife listen to the robber's words, he felt a surge of jealousy and agony. Masago, in a trance-like state, agreed to go with the robber but demanded her husband be killed. Tajimaru, shocked by her demand, hesitated. Masago fled, and the robber cut Takehiko's bonds, leaving him alone in the grove. Desperate and dishonored, Takehiko took his own life with his wife's small sword. In his final moments, he sensed someone pulling the sword from his body, before succumbing to darkness. After violating Masago, Tajimaru mocked Takehiko as he lay bound. The samurai, unable to speak, communicated his contempt and loathing through his eyes. Masago, filled with shame and despair, decided that she could not live with her husband after what had happened. She told Takehiko that they must both die, and when he indicated his agreement, she stabbed him with her small sword. However, Takehiko's spirit, speaking through the medium, revealed that Masago had begged the robber to kill him so she could leave with Tajimaru. Tajimaru had hesitated and instead cut Takehiko's bonds before fleeing. Alone and humiliated, Takehiko had taken his own life with Masago's small sword. The conflicting testimonies left the truth shrouded in mystery. Each account revealed different facets of the characters and their motivations, painting a complex picture of human nature and the subjective nature of truth. The woodcutter, the priest, the policeman, Tajamaru, Masago, and the spirit of Takehiko all provided pieces of the puzzle, but the full picture remained elusive. In the end, the grove stood silent, a mute witness to the tragedy that had unfolded within its depths. Looking for more great reads? Be sure to check out other books by Ryūnosuke Akutagawa. Find them in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Ryūnosuke Akutagawa's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.